Now in the first part we show that the set, we define the set capitally of all the linear extension of f satisfying the condition that g of x it is less than or equals to p of x for all x belongs to the script d of g. Has a maximal element f tilde which satisfy the condition that f tilde of x it is less than or equals to p of x for all x belongs to the domain of f tilde. We prove it in the first part. Now after proving that, in the second part we have to show that the domain of f tilde is all of capital X. That is, we have to show. Now to prove this equality, here we assume that this is false. We suppose this is false. This is false. It means that script d of f tilde it is strictly contained in capital X. That is, script d of f tilde it is strictly contained in capital X, and as it is strictly contained in capital X, it implies that capital X minus script d of f tilde, that means the complement of script d of f tilde in capital X, it is non-empty. As it is non-empty, so we may choose a point. So we may choose a point y1 belongs to capital X minus script d of f tilde. That means it is the point of capital X, but it does not belong to the domain of f tilde. As it is the point of capital X, but it does not belong to the domain of f tilde, therefore this y1 it is not equals to 0. Since domain of f tilde is a vector space. It is a vector space, and as it is a vector space, therefore domain of f tilde always contains 0. That is the zero element of domain of f tilde, and therefore as it is a vector space, therefore it contains 0, and as y1 does not belong to the domain of f tilde, it means that y1 it is not equals to 0. Now we consider the subspace. Consider subspace. We give it the name y1, and it is a subspace of the vector space capital X, which is spanned by domain of f tilde and the point y1. That means every element of y1 it is written as the linear combination of the element of script d of f tilde and the point y1. That means any x belongs to the script, any x belongs to y1 can be written as x equals to y plus alpha y1, where y is the element of domain of f tilde. Y is the element of domain of f tilde and alpha be any scalar, and therefore the subspace y1 which is spanned by domain of f tilde and the point y1. Therefore every element of y1 it is written in the linear combination of domain of f tilde and the point y1. Therefore here now we show that as we represent the element of y1 in the form of y plus alpha y1, after defining this representation, now we show that this representation is unique. This representation is unique. In fact, I am taking the two representation, that is y plus alpha y1 it is equals to y tilde plus beta y1, where y and y tilde both are the element of the domain f tilde. Y comma y tilde belongs to the domain of f tilde, and alpha and beta be any scalar. Then this implies that y minus y tilde that is equals to beta y1 minus alpha y1. Now it is equals to, this implies that y minus y tilde that is equals to, now here we can take y1 it is common, and in bracket we write down beta minus alpha into y1, as y and y tilde both are the element of domain of f tilde, and domain of f tilde is a vector space. It is a vector space. As it is a vector space, therefore y minus y tilde, this is also the element of domain of f tilde. But y minus y tilde, it is nothing but beta minus alpha into y1. This implies that beta minus alpha into y1, it is also the element of domain of f tilde. But we know that beta minus alpha, it is a scalar, and it is the element which does not belongs to the domain of f tilde. But here we are getting that this product, this is nothing but the scalar product, it is the element of domain of f tilde, and therefore it is possible only when alpha minus beta, it is equals to 0. As I am giving it the equation number 3, giving it the equation number 4. As y1 does not belong to the domain of f tilde, therefore beta minus alpha into y1 belongs to domain of f tilde is possible only when beta minus alpha, it is equals to 0. Because when beta minus alpha, it is equals to 0, then their product with y1, that is also equals to 0, and that 0 belongs to the domain of f tilde. But beta minus alpha equals to 0 imply y minus y tilde equals to 0 from equation 3, because here beta minus alpha, it is equals to 0, and this product equals to y minus y tilde, and therefore y minus y tilde, that is also equals to 0. This implies that y equals to y tilde as well as beta equals to alpha. That means here we are saying that is y plus alpha y1 equals to y tilde plus beta y1. When these two representation are equal, implies that y equals to y tilde and beta equals to alpha. This implies that the representation is unique, and therefore in this way, as we define the every element of y1, after that we show that now this representation is unique. Now after defining the element of y1, now we define a functional g1 on y1, a functional g1. A functional g1 on y1 is defined by g1 of y plus alpha y1, that is equals to f tilde of y plus alpha c, where c is any real constant. In this way we define g1 on y1, that is equals to f tilde of y plus alpha c, where c be any real constant. Now we show that this g1 is a linear. To show that g1 is linear, that means we have to show that for any x1 comma x2 belongs to y1 and x1 comma x2 belongs to y1, and for any scalar, I am taking here the scalar, and xi1 comma xi2 be any two scalar, be any two scalars, then g1 of xi1x plus xi1x1 plus xi2x2, that is equals to xy1 g1 of x1 plus xy2 g1 of x2. That is we have to show. So now to prove this here, as x1 comma x2 they are the element of y1, and therefore x1 it is equals to y plus alpha y1, and x2 it is equals to z plus beta y1, where y comma z both are the element of script d of f tilde. Therefore xy1 x1 plus xy2 x2 it is equals to xy1 into, now putting the value of x1, that is y plus alpha y1 plus xy2 into z plus beta y1, just putting the value of x1 and x2. Now simplifying it, we are getting xy1 y plus alpha xy1 y1 plus xy2 z plus beta xy2 y1. It is equals to xy1 y plus xy2 z. We keep it this in one bracket plus, now here we are taking y1 common, and in bracket we are getting alpha xy1 plus beta xy2 into y1. This is the value of now xy1 x1 plus xy2 x2, and therefore where as y and z both are the element of the domain of f tilde, therefore where xy1 y plus xy2 z, this is the element of domain of f tilde, because here they are the two elements of domain of f tilde, and it is a vector space, therefore it is closed with respect to addition and scalar multiplication, and therefore here xy1 y plus xy2 z it is also the element of domain of f tilde, and therefore g1 of xy1 x1 plus xy2 x2 it is equals to g1 of, now putting the value of this, g1 of xy1 y plus xy2 z plus alpha xy1 plus beta xy2 into y1. Now it is equals to, by definition of g1, it is equals to f tilde of xy1 y plus xy2 z plus alpha xy1 plus beta xy2 into c. Now f tilde is linear, and therefore it is equals to xy1 f tilde of y plus xy2 f tilde of z plus, now opening this bracket we are getting here alpha xy1 c plus beta xy2 c. Now it is equals to, taking xy1 common, we can write down xy1 in bracket we are getting that f tilde of y plus alpha c plus, taking here xy2 common, we are getting xy2 into f tilde of z plus beta c, and it is equals to xy1 into, now f tilde of y plus alpha c it is nothing but g1 of x1, because here x1 it is equals to y plus alpha y1, and therefore here g1 of x1 that is equals to f tilde of y plus alpha c. In the same way here g1 of x2 that is equals to f tilde of z plus beta c by definition of g1, and using these two we are saying that here f tilde y plus alpha c that is equals to g1 of x1, and this is equals to g1 of x2 plus xy2 into g1 of x2. That means we are getting that is g1 of xy1 x1 plus xy2 x2 it is equals to xy1 g1 of x1 plus xy2 g1 of x2, and in this way we show that this implies that g1 is a linear functional. It is a linear functional on y1. Now g1 is a linear functional on y1. Now we show that g1 is a proper extension of f tilde. We show it. For alpha equals to 0, we have x that is equals to y plus alpha y1, which is the element of capital Y1. Okay, y is the element of domain of f tilde. When we are taking alpha equals to 0, then in this equation we get x it is equals to alpha equals to 0, that means this term equals to 0, and then in that case we are getting that x equals to y, which is the element of y1. But now here x it is the element of y1, but y it is the element of domain of f tilde. That means in that case we are getting that x it is the element of domain of f tilde. Then g1 of x it is equals to f tilde of y plus alpha c. It becomes, now alpha it is equals to 0, therefore it is equals to f tilde of y. That means here as g1 of x, that is, but x it is equals to y, therefore that is g1 of y it is equals to f tilde of y for all y belongs to domain of f tilde. That means we say that g1 equals to f tilde when g1 define on the domain of f tilde. When g1 it is defined on the domain of f tilde, g1 equals to f tilde, and this implies that g1 is a linear extension of f tilde. This implies g1 is a linear extension of f tilde. Also the domain of g1 is y1. Script d of g1 that is equals to y1, and y1 it is nothing but the span of script d of f tilde and the point y1. This implies that domain of f tilde is a proper subset. It is a proper subset of domain of g1. That means g1 is a linear extension of f tilde, but here we observe that the domain of g1 that is equals to y1, which is spanned by domain of f tilde and the point y1. y1 it does not belong to the domain of f tilde, and therefore we are saying that domain of f tilde it is a proper subset of domain of g1, and as it is a proper subset of domain of g1, this implies that g1 is a proper linear extension of f tilde. This implies that g1 is a proper extension of f tilde. Now here we are showing that g1 is a proper linear extension of f tilde, and if consequently if we can prove g1 belongs to E by showing that g1 of x it is lesser than or equals to p of x for all x belongs to the domain of g1. If we are showing that g1 of x it is less than or equals to p of x, then we are getting that g1 is a linear extension of f. g1 is a linear extension of f because f tilde it is the maximal element of E. That means f tilde is a linear extension of f, and g1 it is a linear extension of f tilde. Therefore g1 it is again the linear extension of f, and if we can show that g1 also satisfy this condition, then we get that g1 is a linear extension of f satisfying this condition, and then we get that g1 belongs to E. But when g1 belongs to E, and in E, F tilde it is the maximal element. F tilde is the maximal element and G1 belongs to E. It implies that G1 must be smaller than F tilde because it is the maximal element. But here we prove that it is a proper extension of F tilde. These two gets contradiction, and therefore our assumption is that domain of F tilde it is strictly contained in capital X is becomes wrong, and we get the result. So we in the next step, in the third step, we show that G1 of X it is lesser than or equals to P of X. We prove it, and then we are getting the contradiction. So we prove it in the third step.